Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean. Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to 5.8G Alive. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, happy to be one of your co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. With me as usual,
I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. And of course, like Terri-Ann, I'm very, very happy to welcome you this evening.
Okay, so listen, people, this week is a special week. Apart from having the day, the second of the 22, 20222, people made a big deal about that. This week is also in Trinidad and Tobago, Carnival week. Jennifer, girl, what is it for Carnival?
We pull it off. They pull it off. Despite all the controversy. And around Carnival time is always have controversy. Either the steel band, this, the calypso, this, the different things. But this year, we having a taste of Carnival. It's a taste.
For some segments having full-blown Carnival. You see the soca artists, they're having full-blown Carnival.
For me, Terri-Ann, why I am very, very happy that because Carnival makes us happy. The majority. We have those who don't celebrate, but this is our national festival, and it's a festival about happiness, about freedom, about letting go, forgetting all the problems and really enjoying. It's about music and dancing and having a good time. I haven't been to actually any of the shows, but I have been enjoying it online.
Then you have been to the shows. Then you have been to the shows.
Yes, I know, I'm minding my business and I'm drinking more. I'm minding your business. Really, really, I am in a happy mood. There's a happy place. This Carnival, I am in a happy mood. So yes, I am. For me, this is what Carnival does to the mind. And I would chatting with my sister this week. Their group had a little Carnival celebration, and she played Fancy Sailor. And I will show you a little clip. How much fun our 5.8G group is be having. Yeah.
One of the things that, and it's linked to what we'll talk about today, out of adversity, because you have an entire industry all about creatives. I mean, in many societies, I think it's really just in North America, your culture, the importance of culture and the artistic creatives are recognized as how vibrant they are in the economy. But what I really, really admired is, notwithstanding the bureaucracy's slow start out of the blocks, our creatives, with very, very little time, within, I think, about 3 days of, okay, these are your guidelines for safe zones, these are what, have created a 2-week experience.
Yes.
That in the absence of, all right, Carnival, you have partying, mass, pan. Okay, mass is not there, and pan, as we know, it is not there. But our soca artists come out and put on their shows, and their music this year, the quality, you see 2 years of rest and reflection, and they are bringing their game, and they are looking to the future in that, okay, the rest of the world is opening, and Trinidad once again is lighting the ignition and moving on. And Jen, I think there's so much there to be learned that we can learn.
Of course. You know what? Too, and lessons. You know, you say forget the naysayers.
Yeah.
Because definitely prior to it was like no hope. And they still have those creatives who still didn't do anything or haven't got started at all because they felt that it can't work. They didn't see where they could make the money. They didn't bother. They weren't feeling energized at all. But as you said, the majority decided, you know what? This is my craft. This is what I do. This is my
Most
profession,
important.
my career.
This is who I am.
I am doing whatever. And I was told, I mean, as I said, I watch most of the things on television, online. And when you watch the characters, those who actually went back in the costumes, what we call the rubbers and you know, those characters, they came out and depicted exactly the way they would have done it. And it was, I mean, Terri-Ann was fantastic because they believe they can still, you know, they're coming out, they have the costume, they could remake, you know, freshen up what they had. And that mindset, being very determined, being sure of who you are and what you do, that makes a difference and it's a lesson in all aspects of life, I would say.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. You know, you had those who pull back in terms of where I am and you may have had the basics of a costume, that's a traditional mask, but you also have those who from a position of zero are saying, okay, what was, but I am creating and going forward and bringing new stuff, bringing new things to come forth. And it shows that, you know, from wherever we are, you may have a store of something that you can draw from and pull it forth. Or you may have a store of nothing. But because you have innate talent and you have a being and you're driven, you can create something and go forward and have a blast.
And you keep moving on. And I must bring this on because Terri-Ann, my granddaughter, their school having, they're celebrating their carnival. So they have a little carnival show. And each class, they had to have to do something. And she has a presentation. And they actually had to research about one of about pan, about a band, and give a little story, and they dress up in a part as a pan, I told a pan man, and she said, no, Granny, I'm not a pan man. I'm a pan woman. Because, you know, and that's so nice because she was able to talk about the pan, you know, what it's all about, and that the history. And that I found was very good, you know, and the school actually having a little competition. Only those who competing, of course, going to be actually at the school, and the others are online watching. And that for me is so important, you know, for us not to forget, because as I say, in the face of adversity, you get creative,
Yeah. And again, the lesson is so many of us can say, oh, for them, it's good for them. But there's a lesson for us. There is a lesson for us in that we are not to be spectators of life because we are in this cohort. What have we been doing to participate, enjoy the culture? You know, things are, again, the technology is here. So even though shows are going, they're being broadcast. They're being broadcast. You don't have to get up and go in the middle of it if you don't want to be in the crowds. And inside there are no crowds. You can take your space, but you can still be tapped into the energy of life around you and participate and feel the energy, get energized, feel the vibe and go on, you know.
And Terri-Ann, I was to say here, upon on the word that's happening now, create your own pod. you know, have your pod.
Well, the good thing is that, and the joke is that for many of the shows that are, especially of the for the more progressive artists and so on. Their shows are sold out. Their shows are sold out, you know, and I just look at that, and Jan, I think back to our discussion last week with Wanda Bernard, and oh gosh, before we get into that, Jennifer, the blackout.
Island White in Trinidad,
which I thought was so positive.
Again, this week was a week of lessons learned. Yeah.
But the good thing, again, so many things were learned. It's so easy to complain and to fuss, but for 12 hours, we had to sit our little tushes down, not have our connectivity, and we were blessed with the most phenomenal full moon that everyone remembered that you know how to entertain yourself without anything electronic, without an app, without a gadget. You learn that the younger ones aren't as alien as you thought, because so many people gathered and did things with their neighbors. You know, you had stories of people coming out into the street together, families sitting down playing cards, cooking, doing a barbecue, doing a this or that or the other. And for 12 hours we were cool, and then we rediscovered the mosquitoes and stuff, but it was cool.
And guess what I did?
Don't tell me what this
I dive in my bed. By 7 o'clock, I was okay. 7 o'clock, I knew nothing. I just went in my bed and I said, this is like brilliant. So I didn't come out to watch any moon, chat with anyone. I went in my bed and I had a great sleep. I got up about 1:30, and I felt that for our area, that's when the electricity came back. And I got up 1:30 and I felt like I was slept for the whole day.
Yes, because you sleep for
so I said, what would I do at this hour? I just pull a book and I decided to jot down things. And it was really and truly, I felt relaxed. I went back about maybe around 2:30, 3, slept for about 2 hours again. And I got up and I said, yes. I opened the fridge to see what, maybe I have some things. But somewhere along the line, I don't know, the fridge remained nice.
So our appliances that could stand up to a lot, man.
Yeah.
Fridge is
so
loaded with food.
Terri-Ann, we have to be ready for the unexpected. All right. We should also have contingency, in terms of the financial. You would say have a contingency fund in case. In terms of life, we should always be prepared. And we talk about this a lot, Terri-Ann. Complaining not going to help.
Yeah.
Yes, the powers that be would have learned, and they have their investigations, and all the things going to be solved, hopefully. But for us, it is a life lesson, and we should make the best of our life at whatever time, whatever happened. We have to address it. The thing about it too, Terri-Ann, we have no choice. You realize that? You have no choice. We could not just snap our fingers and get electricity back. We could not go out and protest, to force the hands of the authorities. No, guess what? We had to dig deep within. I don't know how deep. I don't think deep, because we are.
I don't think we have to dig deep at all.
We didn't dig deep at all. The first thing is, hey, we could have a barbecue. Everybody could do something. You don't even have to have a barbecue pit. They found ways to.
I don't think anybody had to dig deep, and it just showed that.
All reports.
We are caught up in the talk of complain and rant and rave and carry on. We just caught up in it without cause, because even if you took the opportunity to get a good night's sleep, or you took the opportunity to really take in the beauty of that beautiful full moon, or you took the opportunity to sit with family, friends, or neighbors, there was no crazy crime spree running anywhere.
No.
Everybody just settled and for 12 hours organized themselves and then like went back to normal the next day. So a lot of us.
And they'll survive without that being on that internet, being on the computer, being on the phone.
You know,
they survive.
Exactly. No TV, hardly listen to radio, whatever it is. And it was the kind of opposite COVID. But with COVID, we allow the narrative of COVID, the deaths and this to drown out and make it such a, we are powerless and we have to stay sheltered and hidden. All right, power really went.
We were powerless.
You became powerless.
Electricity, but
and you continued with life without missing a beat, not a beat. And I think that it presents a really nice position for us to stop this COVID talk, because thank you very much, the world is done. If you did not get the memo, the world is done with COVID. Treat it like the common cold, treat it like the flu. Get your vaccine or don't get it, they're done, they're moving on. So we're back to where we were before without if you don't have a hope, a prayer, or a plan for moving on in the age of technology, then you are likely to be in a very, very insecure place. You know, we really would be in an insecure place. So, Jennifer, we have to now get back to our Blackout program from last week, where we had that wonderful discussion with Wanda Bernard. You know, and one of the things that I think really came out for me from last week's discussion, and we hope that many of you all were able to go back to it and see it outside of
I got a few calls and I did direct. So those who didn't call, I'm still wondering. Yes, you can use that YouTube link, and we'll put the link again here for you to go back and to, view
and it's on Facebook.
Yeah, because those who viewed it, I mean, the feedback as usual was very good. And we thank you for actually, going back and looking at the show.
Yeah. You know, one of the points that came up is that we as a cohort may have become, and it's all over, it's not just a Caribbean thing, comfortable for being amongst the prioritized group, women, children, and the elderly. And you're catered to and taken care of, and you'd be prioritized. So your pension is going to be paid and all that kind of stuff. And I think for a good few of us, therefore, that maybe encourages us to lose the sharpness and the edge that we may have had in the second act stage and carried us forward. But I do believe in the post-COVID world, that's not going to be the attitude of many governments and organizations. They're going to be very much in terms of preparing for the future. And that does not mean there is a youth bias. That does not mean that at all. I think that means that there is a bias to persons with a mindset to contribute, create, be different, do something else. Because after the gazillions that have been spent by states and economies are in serious deficit after trying to salvage life over the last 2 years, as England has said, no more spending. Reserving some booster shots for all your old people and
no more spending.
Take
responsibility for your whole life.
The only thing that Mr. Johnson said is reserving some extra booster shots for you all. We moving on.
Moving on.
If I ever heard of that sentence passed on a cohort, it is that. But the fact of the matter is that there is so much that can be done, and it is for us as individuals to decide how we want to participate in life on the third act stage moving forward. Is it as clear-cut as that, Jennifer?
Yeah, take responsibility. That's clear. That's clear. You're hearing it in all areas, in all sectors, you know, and the same way that you found we have, because of the blackout, just touching a bit on it, where the company and employees were criticized so much, and the technical personnel, etc., because they found this should not have happened. And we want them to do a review, go back and check, you know, and see exactly what happened. And hopefully when you learn that lesson from that situation and you're moving forward with extra, with energy, with faith, with like that. If you don't, then guess what? Again, we talk about it, you're going to be stuck. So the lesson again here is, if you don't want, this is Carnival time. If you don't want to remain and have your little pod and be in that pod, well, you're on the outside, you know? So do you want to take action? And when in taking action, do you want to have a circle of friends or connections around you, people who could support you so you could achieve that goal and live life as you want to? Or do you want to sit back? And Terri-Ann, you said it, you mentioned it last week, that we are, our pod consists of those who want to move on, energetic, want to enjoy life, want to do things the way they choose. You have to see, we did the vision board, you have to have that vision and come together and you move forward with that vision. If you're not, then Terri-Ann, what sense it making? Exactly. You remain outside the pod.
You know, it's driving.
Those who are not Trinis, it's just that for this carnival, there are pods created in the savannah, which was supposed to be the mecca of carnival, and that little space, there. And there are pods, so you can come with normally how many? 10, 8?
Some pods have 6 and some have 9, but I think that concept has been across the world.
Yeah, so normally, yeah, and it's across the world, but normally what happens at this time, we lime anyway. We get together with a line of friends, you have your cooler and you have everything together. So they say, okay, you're accustomed doing that. So continue. And that's life.
I tell you one thing, just like you go to the savannah, you go to Panorama, you go to a fete, you go somewhere and you watch a crew. You call it a crew before, you call it a pod now.
Yeah.
And if a crew had no vibes, me going nowhere near them. So if you're dragging us at a chain,
Terri-Ann, like what came to mind is those all-inclusive bands, and they put the rope around the band. You have security, and listen, you can't come in unless you have on a costume and that band on your hand, the ID band.
Yeah. Yes. Or you have the right vibe. Yeah.
Yes. So you inside there, enjoying yourself, getting the best of music, things to eat, drink, you know, and you know you're not being affected by those on the outside that don't have on that costume.
Or who choose not to participate.
Yeah.
You know, I would say those
that was a huge pod.
Yeah, not to participate, or you choose to just look on, because you could join in, you could opt to join in many different types of pods. But the fact of the matter is, you have to decide what kind of vibe do I want to enjoy, you know, and you don't sit at home and quarrel about it, or you could choose to join that pod. That's a valid pod.
Because Terri-Ann, as you said that, there are those who use this time and carnival time also to get together and maybe go on a retreat or go camping, but they are within their group. This is a group of like-minded people who, you know, you do these things. Yeah.
And I think that is the thing that you cannot be in the place once you find yourself talking about them and those people, and you're talking about others, but you don't have a story for yourself about what you've
Yes.
decided to do. I think once you find yourself in a place that you're busy talking about other people and what they're doing, and you have an opinion about it. But if you look in the mirror and you say, okay, so what is your pod about? What's going on in your pod?
Yep.
If you have nothing in your pod or nobody in your pod, then come on. Come on.
So Terri-Ann, you have to mind your business.
And if you drink water or wine or juice or whatever you want to drink.
It's time to mind your business, not other people's business. You know,
Yes.
take care of you. Take
Yes.
responsibility for you. Yep.
Absolutely. So Jennifer, we of course would, that is why we exist. That is why Connections 50 Plus is there. And I swear that coming out of the last 2 years, coming out of our programs when we started with Alison Gibbons, when we went to Ian Chaffers, we talked to Wanda Bernard, we had all these, when you really look out from Dolly, Maureen Boyan, so many people talking about how we can take ourselves forward. There is really no reason other than a decision you make for yourself that on your third act, you should be frustrated, alone, uninterested, disconnected. If that is the case, then yes, there may be extreme cases of circumstance, society, and so on. But for most of us, if that is your lot, then most likely it would have been a decision that you're making, probably unconsciously, probably unconsciously, to not be a part of. And I think, Jen, one of the things, you know, you talk about mindset a lot. Before we get on to minding any business, and business is not necessarily a financial thing, it is your fears and how you choose to set your life. We really have to do, as we said in our steps last week, that introspection to be clear. How do you want to be on this third act stage? What is your pod going to be like? What vision do you have for yourself? And make sure it is your vision and that you're not watching somebody else's life and describing it and thinking that that's what you want to be. Jennifer, that mindset issue is so critical.
Yeah. And he said that, and I want to reference to our last discussion before in terms of don't go packing other people, you know, suitcase. Pack your own. Decide what you're going with, how you're moving forward.
At the airport, they ask you, did you pack the suitcase?
You understand?
Or did someone hand it to you?
A lot of things in it is not the things you want. So, yeah, you know. And then we spoke last week about positive aging, you know, and that is what positive aging is all about. You decide how you want to age, how you want to move forward, and we give you all the tools to be able to do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Jennifer, Carnival will finish just now. I mean, Carnival doesn't end, but the shows and all of
the
that.
Vibes, the extra vibes.
Vibes are going on. But our cohort has to get down to some serious business because, as we said, really, in the context of limited resources, you know, sometimes you hear in budgets, they make a statement, a pension is a grant, it's not a right.
Yeah.
A pension is a grant, it is not a right, especially the government pension. For many of the Caribbean states, the national insurance schemes are under pressure in terms of being underfunded because you have less people in the younger cohorts. We had less children. So instead of the 5 and 6 and 8 that our parents had, we have 1 and 2. So we have less children to fund that pot. And also businesses are organized differently now. They need less people. And therefore, it is possible that sometime in the future, we don't know if it's in our lifetime or the cohort just after us, somebody is going to say, excuse me, these pension funds can't be continued as they are. So it means that we have to be proactive about being so confident that the state and society will continue to carry the women, the children, and the elderly as they did. You know, they might carry the women, the productive ones, the children, and they might say, well, elderly, are we prepared for that? And how can we prepare for that?
Yeah. And Terri-Ann, to set it time, and what we look at, I read, and someone referenced it was in terms of aging, and the comment they made was that when people talk about aging, they're only talking about, well, that was in their opinion, the writer. They found they spoke too much about the illness and you know, the critical illness, all the negatives, and not enough was being talked about in terms of how you could be happy, how you could enjoy life. And I quickly sent a little note with our links saying, this is not what connection is all about. Connection is all about energy and life and enjoying life. So I quickly send that link to debunk that. But this is how people view aging. And therefore, and Rhonda said it, Wanda said it in the show last week, that we have to be careful that we don't date ourselves also in such a way that we feel we outdated. That she didn't say that, I know saying this part, that you feel outdated. And we're looking at taking you from the 50s, because the 50s, Terri-Ann, have to start, many of them during this time, thinking about, should I change careers? Can I do it? What should I do? You know, those who are out of a job, how can I, you know, monetize my skills, etc. And they don't know how, because this is a first experience for them. And they don't have any role models, any examples, maybe within your family or within your circle. And they need that help. So yes, there are those who just already give up, but there are those who have no choice, because when you're 50, in the early 50s, you definitely need to relook at your situation and think, you know, what am I doing? And we're saying in groups, in 60s, I'm going to be 70. Yes, now I come like Terri-Ann, right? I'm celebrating big just now. And at
we both 70, in our 60s, Jennifer.
You know, you would think, so we do talk about it. So you have the early 50s, you have the 60 Terri-Ann talking about just now, who, yeah, you're not sure what happened to that retirement, you know, but you are in charge. And then you go in later, and I have many friends who told me, Jennifer, at this stage, I'm working again, I could live off my pension. And then you hear say, girl, how you making out? You know, I have those who in careers and still doing very well, because there shouldn't be an age as long, and I posted recently, Terri-Ann, 2 days ago, a survey which was done about aging, and as long you keep yourself active, etc., that you're even better than the younger ones in terms of how you think and your decision making, etc. So we have to think differently. And I am looking at, and we shared it a lot, because I recognize that, yeah, I'm a planner. I am a planner. And I'm telling you, and I'm a financial planner. So, I had it all planned. And then emergency things came in, and I said, but where all this money gone? You know? But guess what? I have to continue. I have to look at ways. I have to mind my business, you know? And, you know, I always say, thankfully, I have friends who are professional in different areas, Terri, and you are there with me to support and help me through. And this is where if you feel stuck and you don't know how to move forward at this stage, whether you're 50, 60, 70, you know, or 50 in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you need to look at your situation, because I don't believe any one of us want to be dependent in such a way that you feel helpless at all. You know?
I think some of us do, but I want to point out that that's a dangerous place to be. I think some of us believe.
I'm not talking to those who I'm sorry.
Jennifer, we changing places.
I stopped talking, you know, when you have a hard child and you say, the parents say, listen, I talk enough, you know, I ain't talking again. I reached that stage. I'm not talking to those.
But you have some who, and I want to give a gentle nudge to those who have the, you know, it's at the back of your head, you know it. You're still fronting that you're dynamic and all kinds of stuff, but you know in the back of your mind you're saying, I give all these years to these children, all they will damn well see about me. And you sitting down and planning for them.
Yes.
You're going to get a rude awakening.
Yep.
Sit down
not at this time.
I will say this. Sit down and plan for them, because you deserve it. You're very right. Yeah. You sacrificed all these years and you gave and you gave, and look at them now. They parading themselves. The children, they have all the luxuries, and they lift 3 fingers. You lift 10 fingers, your body, your feet, but they lift 3 fingers and they have it. Why? Because you carried it. All right. If you have a partner in your life, they're happy like puppy. Look at them. Look at them. Who gets you so? But I will just say, have a contingency. So yes, you know, sit down and say there, don't mind you, but you better have a contingency, because in the carrying of them and the creating of them and the job and all the things like that, they didn't really learn the lesson of creating for self and resourcefulness, because in 10 years time, when things change, they may come right back to you to say, I need help, at a time when you may be less able to help. And if you haven't put something in place to at least protect yourself, you could end up in a bad spot.
Terri, and I was reminded, and I went back to, I remember my father saying, sometimes when we refer to a situation and we say, but this one should have been doing that and should have been doing X. And Dad used to say, you know, they're willing, you know, but they're a little weak. You have to excuse them. They're willing, but they're weak. And I interpret, you know, that they're willing and they're weak. You really want, and you want the best for yourself. You really want to do these things. And when you say weak don't necessarily mean you're sick, you can't do things. But weak means you don't have the knowledge and the capabilities to take that action. And when you're weak, guess what? You need help. You need support. I was also reminded this week about a situation that I went a little off with, you know, again, saying that, you know, this person should have been doing better because they know better. And I feel they have the skill, etc. And I was reminded that even though they may have the skill and the knowledge, you also have to look at the personality. You know, their personality may not be one with that knowledge and skill to take that particular action. And my question, well, then what do you expect them to do? And they say, no. You guide, you discuss, right? Let them get involved, connect with people who could say, well, okay, since we understand this may be your personality, but you can do X, Y, and Z. Maybe you are not for entrepreneurship, but you may be better for, you know, and you go in and guide. So this is where we come in again, Terri-Ann, to help our cohort out there who willing but weak, and I'm using that saying, willing but weak, And but willing,
willing is the prerequisite.
If you're not willing, well then willing and strong, great, but willing and weak, we can still embrace you.
If you're willing, but you're able, you have to stay in the grandstand. You're not coming in the pods.
Yeah, but willing and weak. But you know, I believe that yes, there's support. And Terri-Ann mentioned earlier, we're not necessarily saying go into business. Business doesn't mean you're going on, as people say, work hard at this stage, but see what you can do to continue enjoying the quality of life at this stage. Yeah. And Jennifer, for those who early 50s, hey, you better be strong.
Yeah.
Because you need all that strength to move forward. You can't sit back and say and give up. No.
Yeah, Jennifer,
you can't throw in the towel.
We have 3 cohorts. We have the 50s, we have the 60s, and we have the 70s, all inside of the 5.8G, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and 70 to 80. And I would say that the 50s, as you know, many of them believe that after 60, they're going to be still there and still relevant. You may have a little tail wake for probably the first 3-4 years. You may have some momentum that is taking you forward. It's not going to go longer than that unless you create something for yourself to occupy your time. So, and those 3 to 4 years are going to fly by, all right?
Okay, then you
then you have your 60 to 70s, where you really have to sit where we are, where you really have to sit down and say, but wait. And Jennifer, you've provided a sterling example there at the end of it of having a good plan, and the plan was working, something happened. I know you're going to start over, you're going to do something else.
Yep.
And then you have the 70 to 80s where, all right, really, you can't be into all that. So I say that no matter which of the 3 stages you are in, your life must have purpose. Your purpose may be about creating wealth for yourself, which means that you're still in some kind of active trade or something, or you can be in service of others, where you take your skills and your experience and you put it to use where there is most need. And there is so much need today to support our own community, to support the disadvantaged. I, for myself personally, have a serious issue with the education of teens. What has happened over the last 2 years? I know that there's so many of them who they have fallen, they fall through no crack, you know, they fall off the side. They go through no crack. They fall off the side, and somebody's got to go down there, find them, and bring them back onto the platform, the main stage. So even if your vision, if we want to use our language, or your purpose, please do not think that we're saying you have to be go and work again, go and work hard, and go and hustle.
Stress out yourself. No, you're not stressing.
You have to have a purpose. You cannot have a purposeless life. And sometimes our joy comes in service. And you go out there, go into your communities. You might have a community center, a scout group, a scout and brownies. You may have service groups. You may have your church. You may have it, your church, your temple, your mosque may have it. And like we said at Christmas time, right in your street. Right in your street. Sometimes you may take a walk in your neighborhood. You may pass a corner where some young people just hanging out and they just want to have a conversation with someone. I remember having a discussion with someone and saying, an older person, and saying, you know, a lot of talented young people hanging out in panyards. Talk to the captain of the band and just say, is there sometime I could just come and make myself available? Somebody want to come and talk to me or something.
So Terri-Ann,
all of that is service.
Looking to do what makes you happy.
Yes.
And how you could spread the joy to others.
Definitely. So, Jennifer,
Terri-Ann, yes.
We don't just talk and talk and talk, and we, there's something to help you get there.
Of course, yes.
So one of the things that we've done is we've collaborated with one of our favorite contributors, Dr. Alison Gibbons, and we have put together a really powerful program. This new program is called Your Business and You. Just have your water, mind your business. It's Your Business and You. And it's done in 3 parts. And our approach is different. The first one, it's for 1 hour. You will talk to Jennifer and myself, and just to have a sense of who you are, where you are, what you want to do. And that's going to be just like to have a sense of where you've been and the projection. And second part, very, very important. We acknowledge and know that many of us arrive here at the 5.8G door, coming from the second act door, and we only know the person that was there. We don't know who this person is, what this person is. So the second will be about 90 minutes of consultation with our one of our favorite contributors, Dr. Alison Gibbons, who will deal with you on a one-on-one in a safe and confidential environment, safe and confidential, to really, really talk with you about your psychological and emotional readiness, your setbacks, and where you are. This is an opportunity to really sit down and do what we've been saying, Now that I've arrived here at the 5.8G door, can I figure out who this person is, stripped of what you were on the second act stage? And Jennifer, that consultation is so important, isn't it?
Of course. After that, I know I'm clear. You will have such clarity of, who you are, what you want for your life, and be confident that, hey, this is it. I know I will be able to live the life that I choose for myself. That would be definitely the takeaway from that session.
Mm-hmm. And based on that, you then decide what kind of pod you want to be in. If you want to be in a pod that takes you back into the business world, if you want to be in a pod that takes you into community, if you want in the pod that just retreats into family, into yourself, whatever you want to be. And then you work with either Jennifer or myself, individually or collectively, and we have another 90-minute session where we sit down and help you work through your path to where you have decided you want to be. So we are very serious about you. We're very serious about your business. We do not want our cohort on this third act stage we're building to be falling off the precipice, or not in a pod, not even in the savannah. You're out on the cohort.
And what is great about this program, to realize, it's an individual program.
Yes.
So it's going to be set up where it's all about you, and you set in your time. And it's, as we said, there's a confidential platform. So you don't have to worry about nobody knowing your business. You are going to be guided. And I am so positive, or we are so positive, that at the end of these 3 sessions, you're going to be on your way to more happiness, to really doing what you enjoy doing and having that purpose in life that Terri-Ann spoke about.
You're going to have about 5 hours of interaction just to get you refocused and repurposed to be able to move on, get your vibe, be in the right place and time. So if you are interested If you are one of those who decided, I am going to move on, I don't know where to go, but I am going to move, give Jan or I a call. Our numbers are on the screen, or send us an email. It's right there. You take the initiative if you want to be your own ignition, and reach out to us, contact us. All of the contacts are there, and we will give you more information about getting into this program. You know, your 90-minute consultation with Dr. Gibbons, one-on-one, confidentially, to really get your mind clear about what dealing with either Jennifer or I, or together, depending on your path, to make sure that there is a direction, and you get that nice push start, so that
you get energized.
Yeah, so that your third act is a successful one. And as I said before, you could still sit down and expect them to deal with you, you know. You could still sit down and say, all you had to see about me, because I see about all you. That's fine. But you have your contingency in your back pocket. So just in case they're able, or they don't come up to your standard, you could. So Jennifer, I'm excited about that. I really am.
Great. Yeah. So Terri-Ann, we're going to end our program with some sort of a beat. At least keep the vibes going.
There is so much to be done. Listen, across the Caribbean. You know, one of the interesting things is I just love our creatives. When you look at the ticket sales, the ticket booths, they have choices of how you want your tickets. You know, you could buy tickets to go physically to the show, and you could buy tickets to have access to their exclusive online presence. So your pod don't have to be in the savannah. It could be in your living room with your chosen posse.
Which is like me, yeah, we're gonna do that.
And I say, buy the virtual tickets, support, because when you going into your third act stage and you have your project, if it's a charitable project, if it is a for-profit project, you want people to support. So come on, go.
But that's how we get successful. Yeah? Without support, you can't be successful.
Yeah, go. We love to get a dope. Oh, complimentary is our thing, or free is our thing. But we have to come out of that mindset. Let's find all of the creative arts, everybody, the dramatists, the visual artists, the soca stars, the singers, the dancers, they even lecturers. I see the cloth has a beautiful seminar on the role of the characters. There is something for
they have the cabaret. Yeah, you know, the cabaret show. We have a lot.
There is something for everybody. So find a way. Go and participate. Take out your credit cards or your dollars and contribute, because it will come back to you later when you come forward with your program and you want people to support you and contribute to you also. So we have to have a good carnival. And you will hear more about your business. And you remember, I'm reminding you again, contact Jennifer or myself, send us an email or call us on WhatsApp. This is access to Dr. Alison Gibbons to get a clear sense of where you are, and also working alongside Jennifer and I, we working with you to make sure you get there. Okay, so Jen, let's wrap up.
Yes.
So it's fun. By the way, Jennifer, what's your best calypso for this year?
Drink water and mind your business. I love that. Yeah, Patrice.
I have to.
There are many, but that I come like the trend. That stuck with me. I love that beat. I just love the beat.
I love
Roberts
and Zan Survivors and Charles Marshall Brap Brap. Listen,
Yeah,
when you say I
it's
get
a lot.
survivors and
As
oh,
long as I
boy.
have a beat, I good. Yeah.
And then boys
That's
has
like the only
another
line
one.
I
No,
know.
they all have me excited. And Nadia with her jelly. Oh my
Yes.
God. No, no.
And Cass. Okay, it's a lot. It's a
I
lot.
just love our
Just a little,
culture.
yeah. You know,
So
Jolene, but yeah.
anyway, people, it's Carnival week. Bye-bye. Jennifer, I see we in pink and blue, so we're representing the energy of the
Yeah,
yin and the
represent.
yang,
Yes,
the
I
male and the
have on
female.
my
So,
head tie.
yeah.
I ready.
So we good.
Ready.
So see you all. Bye.
Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.